Hi, welcome to Men's Talk. I'm Saf, and as always, I've got Joss on my right and Daz on my left. On my left. Anyway, hi guys. um, Today we're going to talk about nutrition, benefits and the drawbacks of different types of nutrition, what you put inside you, how it helps you mentally, how it helps you physically, and this is a topic that's quite close to my heart, but I'm not going to start this conversation. I think I'm going to pass it very quickly on to Daza. What's your thoughts about nutrition and
I know what you should be doing, and I know the things what you do because that's the line of work what my wife's in. Whether I'm good at practicing it, I would say I'm possibly the worst example of someone who should be following what should be done. My nutrition isn't very good. I don't eat during the day, or very rarely. I eat just when I want what I want, and I don't really have that balanced diet of I need the veg, I need the protein, the carbohydrates, and everything like that. So I'm possibly the worst person in the world. However, I know what you should be putting in, and I know the benefits that if you put the right things in, then you get the right things out. With me turning into playing sitting volleyball for Great Britain, I know I'm going to have to change that. I've got to change it very, very quickly. With the delay in getting back into training, I think it's given me a little bit more time. I do take supplements, which is possibly a cheat version, some people might say, but yeah, I know what I should be doing, but I don't, I'll be honest.
so what do you eat then? What's you don't eat, you haven't had breakfast?
No, I very rarely have breakfast. If I'm working, I won't have lunch. I'll quite easily get up at 5:30, go to work, and not have anything to eat until around about 6 o'clock when I get home. And then it's just a case of whatever's in the cupboards. I love using a wok. I am a bit of a meat eater, more than likely eat too much red meat, which I know is bad for you. But I'll have one big meal in the evening. My worst thing is you can be quite stubborn about it, that you don't want to eat the right things or the wrong things and different things, and then all of a sudden in the evening I tend to nibble too much, and that's where I struggle with. Whether it's the tablets what I take, which suppress my appetite during the day, and then when I'm coming off the tablets I start eating more. I'm not too sure, but I am possibly the worst person.
The thing that gets me thinking, Joss, as well, is people know what's right for you, right? People know what's good to eat, what's good to put in your body, but yet, as human beings, we don't do that. Why is that? Because you've already said that your nutrition's not great, you need to change it, but yet you still do it. What is making you do something that's not good for you?
Well, is it not good for you?
You said it.
No, but who's to say this is the right diet? How many carbohydrates you need, protein, fats, salts, all of this. It's possibly someone who's had a look at it, who's been going to the gym quite a lot, and this is what they need to change their lifestyle, their body around. At the moment, I'm happy with what I eat, but I know it could be better. I think one of the biggest things what men and women do is that it's time. If you've got a family, you're looking after your kids want something different to what you want. I might have to go home and cook 3 meals. I love my cooking, so I'll cook all day long. But I'd love to provide a plate of nutritional stuff for my wife and hand that over, but then I'll go and have a pot of noodles. Not pot noodles, but I'll have some noodles, and just noodles. I'll throw a couple of prawns in there, but there'll be no veg. But the plate what I give her has got all the veg on, all the protein, everything, and I enjoy cooking for her. So I know what I want to do. I know the right things and everything, but I'm a type of person where I'll actually go, I'd love to cook for my wife, which I do, and I do a nice bowl of the proper proteins, the veg, everything like that, and I love cooking for her. But I'll do that. My son might want a jacket potato, beans and cheese, which is his favourite one, and then I'll have to cook for myself. But what I tend to do is I'll go and get some egg noodles, throw them into a wok, put some king prawns in there, and that's me done. I don't put any veg in there. I know I should do, but I like simplicity in food. But if someone else is cooking for me, then I like the elegant food. I think it's possibly laziness.
You are what you eat, Joss, right? Have you heard that saying? You are what you eat?
Yes.
So what are you and what do you eat?
I eat a lot of really good food. I eat very healthy.
Give an example.
Eat a lot of veg. I eat meat once a week and eat a lot of fruit, drink a lot of water. I make sure I drink a lot of water with a good pH. I try to also eat a lot of alkaline foods as well to make sure my body's got the right balance for myself.
I think being hydrated is key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keep on being hydrated. I mean, you probably keep hydrated, don't you? You drink. You don't.
No, this is another thing which I know you should drink between 3 and 4 litres of water a day to keep yourself hydrated, which means your brain's more active, it's better processed within that. I don't drink enough water, but I've run the Great North Run. I've run that, and I don't think I hydrated enough, and I ended up in intensive care after it.
Wow, well, that's even more important, especially when you do exercise. I think keeping hydrated is key. But yeah, Josh. So you were saying, so what kind of foods do you eat? I mean, you said you eat a lot of veg and meat once a week.
Yeah.
Why just once a week, and why you eat some meat at all?
I went vegan completely, no, pescatarian, sorry.
Oh.
So I was only eating fish, and that went well. Then I kind of got lazy, got complacent, started eating meat again, and then I started was in Antigua in January till March, came back pre-COVID, and changed my diet. I put on a lot of weight. I travel for work a lot, and indulging in other countries' foods is my favourite pastime when I'm not working or when I am working. And then you usually put on a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And like when I was in Saudi last year during Ramadan, I came back very weighty, and I had to then fix that. Antigua again, and I've realised now it's just be disciplined. No matter where you are in the world, find good food, eat good food, but eat healthy. So the reason that I kind of stopped, went to this meat once a week, because I tried to cut out meat indefinitely, and I saw the health implications because I wasn't supplementing.
Vitamins.
Vitamins, etc.
Vitamin D, is it?
So, and due to stress as well, my body, due to stress because I wasn't working during COVID, and obviously because of the pandemic, and that added to my influx of weight, and then I was losing my hair was falling out, etc., and stuff like that. And it was like, this is because I'm not eating the right foods, even though I've cut out meat, because you still have to make up for what you're not eating. So in your vegetarian or pescatarian, you need to actually research it and find out what's good for your body, not what's just good for being a vegan or pescatarian. Find out what your body relates to and works well with food-wise. And I've now found that balance. Sorry, and now I only do meat once a week and on weekends. And because I'm in so much control, I might not have meat in the week, but because the amount of veg I eat and nuts and fibres and carbohydrates and nutrients I put into my body is now okay. My hair's no longer falling out. I'm no longer stressed. I've lost a lot of weight, which I'm extremely happy with. I've even started jogging during COVID, so I jog once every 2 weeks now. But I'm in control of it, and I don't kick myself for not jogging. But I walk a lot. I do a lot of breathing exercises, which help with my metabolism as well. I try not to eat after a certain time. Like, I'm disciplined with the time that I don't eat.
So and nutrition's good, isn't it?
And as well, I would be a big walking contradiction if I didn't have discipline in certain areas of my life, but I'm looking after your children. Not saying that if I was extremely unhealthy, I couldn't look after your children, but for me personally, I need to practice what I preach.
Yeah. So
I can't be looking after children personally with extremely bad toxic habits, but teaching children X, Y, and Z. I prefer children to follow me rather than listen to me, because you're going to more likely pick up what I'm doing by seeing it than being told. And I don't really want to have to tell children what to do. I like to lead from example. So when I buy food with the kids, I tend to buy a lot of healthy food. If I bring food into work, it's healthy food, so they can see it and they get encouraged that way. Where I look after 2 little boys, and when we go to Wilton Deli, just near London Fields, our favourite deli, we choose vegan sandwiches. And I asked them, what's for lunch today? Vegan sandwich. and it's got artichokes and courgettes and avocados inside, asparagus.
Feeling hungry already, Daz. I'm feeling hungry
And everyone's amazed that these little children eat artichokes and eat all of this veg. But it's because they're not that they're none the wiser, because they've just been exposed to it. So they also have meat. Some days we have a meat and chicken sandwich, or they might have a bit of this, a bit of that. But because it's been shown to them in a positive manner, they're fully in control of what they want to eat. So one day a vegan sandwich, one day a mushroom sandwich, and they love mushrooms. And they will
mushroom sandwich.
Yeah, a mushroom stroganoff. No, not stroganoff, like a mushroom creamy cheese cheese sauce. So yeah.
Well, I agree with the mushrooms. Not so much. I mean, I'm not going to preach what I practice, but I'll tell you where I'm at. Okay, for many years when I wasn't bang into training and really getting into everything, some days on average I was eating a kilo of lamb a day, chucked a bit of chicken in as well, because I felt at that time it was helping my training with the protein afterwards, and I was drinking water, as you say, 2, 3, 4 litres a day, and I thought I was doing well. I started Veganuary, January just gone. I just did it because my daughters are vegan, and as I was doing it, I watched this beautiful program called Game Changers, and I'm looking at it all, and since then I haven't touched meat, chicken, or any dairy products. I've been on a plant-based nutrition diet since January, and the effects and the way I feel is just unbelievable. I've never felt so good. All the years I was training and eating all the protein and the carbs before training and the protein afterwards, I've never felt so good. So I started researching more. I'm not saying that, I used to love meat, I used to love chicken, I used to love yogurt and cheese. You get vegan cheese, you get vegan yogurt, and you get vegan meats. I do want to get on my soapbox here, but I think it's important that people, our audience, and are aware that the advantages of eating vegan foods and what you're potentially, the ethical reasons as well.
And as well, a balanced diet. Because what I've learned also, it isn't what you eat, it's how much you eat. So everything in moderation.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of families I work with eat meat at the end of the week with veg, and beginning of week just veg meals. So everything in moderation, because you're still going to be okay, and that's what I've learned as well. So, and I've realised for my body, I have to really look into it and research it before I go straight vegan, because of what's happened to me beforehand when I tried that and I didn't do it right. So you have to actually also learn your body and learn about the other bits of supplements you might need for your body if you're going to drop out meat completely.
Vitamins are crucial.
And vitamins as well.
Are crucial.
You say you've got to look at it in the balanced diet and different things like that. When I was going through depression, one of the things, if I was having a really bad down day, the thing what would get me a little bit better, I would put a whole chicken in the oven, and I would sit there, and there would only be a pile of bones within an hour, and I would feel a lot better about it. Not about myself, but the endorphins would kick in. You'd feel happy about yourself. So there is that two sides of it, and like you say, it's what suits you at the time. But I quite often I'll put in a joint of meat in the oven. Even last week I put a joint of meat in the oven. I sat there at the table just with a knife and fork.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I know it's wrong, but I'll tell you what, it was nice.
But this is what I'm saying, and you talked about the endorphins and that. We're governed by this dopamine rush. At the end of the day, if you can find something else that can give you that same dopamine rush and still be ethical and help with in assisting world hunger, and because I think, and again, this is someone who was eating meat for 30 plus years, 40 years, kilo of lamb a day. I missed my barbecues, fish I used to love. I mean, we worry about, people save plastics, right? People save plastics. Half of the plastic in the oceans are from fishing nets.
Yeah.
This is like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's like, I think as human beings that we get lost in this sometimes. We get lost and we feel entitled as humanity that we can do X, Y, and Z. And really, it shouldn't be like that. It really shouldn't be like that. And this is someone who was very, very fond of meat. Only now I've seen the light.
But a lot of it also is, as men, because it is men's talk, it's breaking habits.
Which we
breaking habits and eluding and learning healthy habits. We know it's good for us. Let's try our best to do it, because we know it's going to benefit us long term. It's going to benefit us short term.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's easier said than done, because it's so easy to do what we know isn't right, and breaking those habits in the way where you feel confident about doing it bit by bit, because nothing happens overnight.
It doesn't, but it starts with our youth.
But it's just a small little step. So say you might wake up and you might really want, like, say you know you've had a lot of lamb over the last 10 days. On that 11th day, you say, you know what, I'm gonna make a small chicken, a lot of salad, and some brown pasta, just for example. Well done. Pat yourself on the back for it, because that little win for you could change your life, change your week, change your month.
Exactly
But it's a habit where, with me, I don't want to break. I like it. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And yes, it is a habit. Yes, I don't eat right.
Yeah.
But I'm happy the way I am at the moment. However, if I go into a competition, like I said, sitting volleyball Great Britain, I've got to look after myself. I've got to drop the weight so I can move around court a lot quicker. So it's a little bit like a boxer. They go into an 8-week training camp and they will look after themselves to drop and make that weight. If I got a goal, and the goal sometimes has been, I've done the London Marathon twice, the Barcelona Marathon, Great North Run, Warrior Games, Invictus Games. These have all been goals for me. So what I've done is I've had to actually look at my diet leading up to that, because I don't want to go on court and everyone's flying around on court. What's he doing? Look at the state of him. So I actually do that. But in between them goals, I enjoy it. So I don't want to break that habit.
You know, I think it's like an awakening. It's like when people who are entrapped in addiction, like I was, and you were with medicated stuff and drugs and that. I think something happens, and then you suddenly think, right, I'm going to change, and that's what we talk about, transition. And change is not easy. It's not easy at all. But if I could do it, but I think you need to want to do it, and you need to be willing to do it. And I don't. I'm just an advocate for veganism now, and it's only been like 6, 7, 8 months, whatever it is, 9 months.
That does it, and does it well, because for you to change your diet for this purpose is probably harder than changing your diet long term, because you need to be ready for this. If you don't change it for that, you can't accomplish those moments, the Invictus Games, the marathons, Kilimanjaro, where with your diet you can pick and choose, and there's a long term goal. But they're disciplined either way. But I'm kind of seeing one that must be a little bit harder to achieve. For me to go and change my diet directly, because I've got to climb Kilimanjaro next week with Daz, I'm going to more struggle on that than me changing my diet, because we're mates and you've encouraged me to.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
So the fact that he's did that, it's actually, he's doing it.
Yeah,
and
that's fine.
He's doing it quite well. If I look at it.
With a really bad nutrition, which I've got, and I'll be the first person to put my hand up. I've lost 9 kilos in about 3 months.
Well, that's great, because you're doing it for self, and because you've got an aim and a goal. I'm not really doing it for self. Obviously, I feel great, and in terms of medical and clinical diseases and illnesses that hopefully will be reduced. Again, there are studies that prove that, but I'm doing it to help with world hunger. I'm doing it to help with grain production. I'm doing it. Us, humanity, we feel entitled that we can do X, Y, and Z, and it's taken me 40 years to realise this. Yeah.
But this is where, and it's a slightly different conversation, but you doing that to help that. I do a lot of charity work, and I raise money to try and stop global warming. I'm doing something for Cool Earth. I'm going to Sri Lanka, which we spoke about, and I'm raising money for Cool Earth. So I'm doing my bit with that, but I'm still enjoying the habit, the food which I have, and you're changing your diet. So we're both hitting it from a different angle, but we're still having the same focus at the end of it. So we have got the same goal, but we're doing it in different ways.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's nearly 1 billion people in world hunger at the moment. If 70% of the grains were given to humanity, we'd save close to 4 billion people.
But if you look at palm oil, then now there's a huge campaign about not having palm oil, because where you get palm oil from, all the trees are going down, and if they keep on chopping down the trees at the rate what it's going, the rainforests in Brazil, South America are going to disappear within X amount of years.
And to me, and I've done my research on that, and believe it or not, still 60% of deforestation is because of human consumption.
It is, but a lot of it goes to animals.
Yeah, but 60% goes to humans.
So that means 40%
Yes,
goes to
it does.
animals.
So
So there
either
is the
way-
big swing.
So no, but either way, if you look at the bigger picture, I truly believe and there's a massive. I mean, do our research. We can, again, I'm not here on. I think it's an awakening moment, and I had it after 40 plus years. Right, I've come to the conclusion that I am not entitled to eat another living organism or take anything dairy from them. And I loved meat and chicken and fish, prawns, loved it all. But since I've been educated, and I think that's what it is about educating our youth. At the end of the day, it's not forcing anything. It's like addiction. I caused so much destruction when I was an addict, just like I've caused when I was a meat eater. I only found out in January. Dun, dun, dun. That was like the end of a dun, dun, dun.
No, I've got this.
I know what you're saying. You love that.
I just think there's obviously, if you go into the wild, you've obviously got the king of the jungle and all of that, and there's a food chain. And unfortunately, yes, we are the educated ones and we should know better, but we are the educated ones what know how to preserve our life. And if it means that we've got to preserve it, our life as a human race, by sacrificing something else, then I think that, for me, that's acceptable.
There's 1 billion people dying of hunger.
There's
1 billion people dying of hunger. I know what you're saying. We're getting sold the fantasy, guys. Yeah, we're getting sold this fantasy. It's all about money. It's all about production. It's all about supermarkets. We're getting sold this. We're not looking at the bigger picture. And this is not just. This is as a collective that there's 1 billion people dying of hunger in the world. If 70% of the grain production was given to these humans and not animals, we would save close to 4. That would feed 4 billion people. That is the fact. I love meat, love chicken. It's not about what you love. It's about the reasons why I've stopped. And the bonuses, let's reduce cancer, reduce risks of cardiovascular disease, reducing other illnesses. I feel good, I feel alert, I'm mentally alert. Everything is actually beautiful. And on top of that, I'm not being like killing animals and eating animals and taking babies away from mothers. I look at the whole picture and global warming as well. And you know what? It's only been a recent thing that's coming to me. It's only recently. But I think if we can educate, and at the end of the day, it's everyone's, we all have a choice. We all have a choice. But if we can educate our youth, and let them make the decision. But I truly believe way, way after we've gone, there's going to be so many vegans the way I think it's going to go. I mean, you've got great advocates like Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker.
Yeah.
And he stands by this, and so do other celebrities. And just have a look. Just give it a go. Have a look. What have you got to lose? Meat and chicken's always there. Drugs are always there. Just give it a go. That's all I say. But look, guys, what a debate. Well, not a debate. What a lovely conversation we've had today, right? Look, this has been Men's Talk. I'm Saf as usual. Daz, Joss. Until the next time, eat well.